Hello, this is Sassy Amanda with Sassy Sisters Crafting, and today I'm going to do the full video on the envelope storage. So today I will show you how I created this beautiful storage for our junk journaling, art journaling items, and how I created it out of an envelope, and how I put it all together. So this is the front, and this is the back. Very pretty. And it also has a tag that can slide in and out where I can change up the label of what is inside the envelope. So I started off with a old envelope that, as you can see, the glue is not doing well, and so I'm going to use this one. Or you could use one where it came in the mail, and if you use a letter opener or something else to open it, then you can use an old envelope that came in that you received something in the mail. So with this one, just use my glue tape, and I'm gluing it down. And then I'm going to just open the envelope up. Along the edge with the razor knife. I think when I made the first one, I think I might have used the scissors. Just a moment. Don't want to have too many bad spots. And for this, that's stuck there, so we were going to glue that. And then we will cut down the sides to open the envelope up. Open up the other side. Okay. So now we have the open envelope. And it's okay if it has some mess ups because we're going to be covering it with cardstock. Go ahead and get rid of the extra piece of paper though. Okay. All right. Close that. Won't hurt nobody. Okay. So you have your open envelope, and I want to show you here, there is plastic around the window. So when we make our cut for the pocket, for the card to be able to slide in and out, we will not go past where the plastic is. We will stay within the plastic, and we will not come this far down or past the edge of the plastic as well. So the cut that you make will go through there, and it's best if you use a razor knife and just see where you want to do it and make the line before you even start. So that allows you to do the pocket. Now, inside these beautiful envelope storage is one, two, three sections, and these are separated by cardstock. So I will take these out so you can see the center. This cardstock is sewn in just like a journal. So you can see that there's the floss in there. And what I did is I took 2 pieces of cardstock. This will be for my next envelope, so I'll go ahead and do them with you. So we're going to fold them in half. And it doesn't matter if you get them exactly perfect because the cardstock is larger than the envelope, obviously. Use our little fingernails there to make sure that it gets folded nicely. So this will be the inside, and so you figure out which color you want to be able to show through the window. Like when I did this one, I chose the yellow. So that's the color that's going to be glued to the inner side of the envelope. So you choose which one you would like that and which one you want to have as the inside pockets. I'm thinking I want the pink for my inside pocket, and I want the purple to show through. Bluish purple. Looks purple to me. Anyway, so here's the center. Alright, so I made a mistake, and I folded them the wrong direction. It's supposed to go long ways, so that now here's the center. These will go inside, and see how they're bigger than the envelope, so it didn't matter if they matched perfectly. So the first thing you want to do is you want to lay the envelope out with the cardstock, and you'll put it over a cutting board, and you'll take your razor knife and you will use a ruler, and you'll lay the ruler out and you'll cut the pieces off. Then you'll turn it and you'll cut these off. Then you will take your Crop-A-Dile or any other hole puncher that you are going to use. You could take a metal poker. You could take the point of scissors, however you're going to make your holes. But I bought this, it was actually on sale, so I went ahead and got it because it makes beautiful small and large holes. So that's going to push it down, it will punch the hole. I was watching a video of a different craft junk journaler, and she was showing how to make journals out of your own paper and other books and stuff. And she made a very good recommendation. And she stated that if you come in an inch for your first hole, and then you come in about an inch for your second hole, and you want to make sure you know top or bottom for how things are going to go into journals, then you always make your middle hole not exactly center. You have it just a little bit smaller so you can say this is the top, this is the bottom. So even though this isn't a journal, out of habit, I'm going to always put these two closer together. This is the top, the further together means this is the bottom. So you will take and you will punch these in, and then once you've got those holes punched, then you can line them up with your cutout cardstock to where the center line was, and you can transfer the marks of where the holes are onto your cardstock, and then you can take the Crop-A-Dile and poke your holes in here and you would poke your holes for that. So that's how you get the holes set up. Once you have the holes all set up and they're all punched, then you would use floss and a nice thick needle that you can put the floss through. And when you figure out how much floss to use, you always open up what you're sewing in and you would pull 1, then 2, and then 3 for the length. And then I always just do a little bit over. So then you thread it on, and then you would come up through the center, or you would go down through the center, across the back, up through the hole, all the way over here, back out, and come back up. Then you have the 2 in the center. You end up tying them. I'm sure you've seen this on other journals. When I show you my video of how I made my journal, I will walk through creating a new journal with you, and you'll see how to tie that. So once that's all tied in, and you have that tied in, then you would put in the glue, or you can use your glue tape. Get out of here. I'm done with you. It's not your turn. So you have the glue tape, and you would tape, or you could use regular glue. And some people use glue sticks, glue tape, but do not glue the window. Glue all the way around and above where you made the slit. So above, all the way around. So once the cardstock is all glued into the envelope, you will see that it will be stuck on each side. Then the 2 in the middle will be open, and you will have the center section of your envelope storage done. The next thing you would do is to take washi tape or any other kind of decorative tape that you've purchased, but I think most everybody calls it washi tape, and you would fold the sides. Fold the tape over. See how wide this is, and see how it's not that wide right here on the edges? It's because I took it and folded it over in order to hold the sides together. Now, if you want, you can put a piece of regular tape, like Scotch tape first, and then the washi tape over, but I have not had any problem. This tape, it like really holds good. I have not had any issues with it. And then you could put some across the top of the envelope to help finish off your seal. And that will also cover up any misfortunes you had when cutting the envelope, and it will block all of that. Okay, so now you've got the sides done. You can put any decorative tape around your window. You have the slit will have already been cut. You'll have the slit already cut, and it will be ready for your tag that you're going to be able to slide in there. So the next item would be to decorate it, but some tips during the decorating is to be careful where you put the items for your decorating. So this flap that I have made here is not center. If you look at it, I don't know if you can see better this direction, but it's not directly in the center. And that's because the center I put a picture, and I didn't want to cover up the face. So just be careful where you put your pictures. So in order to do this flap, to hold the top together, this is fabric. So I took fabric and I sewed it on the sewing machine, and I actually went across and down, and then I turned it from inside out to right side out, and then I flipped it backwards to where the opening was here, and I put the nice sewed part here, and I figured out how far I wanted the flap to go. So I held it, folded it over where I would want it to fold, then figured out how far down the envelope I wanted it to be and marked it, and then cut it off. This is the remnant piece from cutting off that one. Then once I cut it off, I used buttons, and you take the buttons and you can read the directions that come with them on how to do it. I took a practice piece and practiced 2 pieces of fabric how to do the button before I did it on here. And you just punch it in, done this side, and punch it onto the fabric for this side. And I actually use the sewing machine to sew this section on. So I don't know if you can see it, but I closed off where I cut with a zigzag to like basically have the material not fray. And then I just did a straight stitch right where I wanted it to fold over at. So if you stitched it right across the edge here, it would fold there. So you put where you want the fold to be, your straight stitch. And I was able to get this in the sewing machine and get it sewn on. If you can think about it, the next envelope I do, I'll probably sew this on before I tape the sides. That way I can have it open while I'm sewing the piece on. So after you get that on, let me put these back in. Then when you fold it over, it would snap into place. I've also seen other people put the buttons with the stretchy to hold it closed. You can do however you want. I just came up with the buttons when I was at Hobby Lobby looking for stuff to create this craft, and that's what I came up with. So next, the tag that slides in, that will slide into the envelope. You measure how big the opening is, because obviously you don't want it to be bigger than opening. So you measure how big so you don't want to cut it too big. You want it to be able to fit. So the last thing is the tag that goes in the envelope. I used a thin cardboard here. I used it out of pizza box, and then you just decorate it however you want. I used a little bit of the cardstock, a little bit of the sheet paper that I used to decorate the envelope with. Then I used some tape, washi tape, to go cut pieces of it off. Sometimes you can just, cut the bottom of some of it where it's straight, and that's what I did here in the middle. And then on the back, because it's the back, I didn't put anything to do along the seam there, but I did here. And then I just took a label maker and just tied a little floss string to help pull it out. And that's the tag that labels. So this says small vintage, and that's what's inside the envelope. I have a box of flowers. And so if I was going to do this storage envelope with nothing but flowers, I would just write flower stickers. If I had different kinds of background sheets, I could just put background sheets, whatever you want to name it of what you're putting in here. This was all some vintage, small vintage type things that I was going to put just in a random little box, and decide to make the storage envelopes. So I'm going to transfer all of my stuff into these wonderful storage envelopes, and you can label them through the window. So there's the conclusion of the storage envelopes. Hopefully my husband one day will make a nice wooden box that they can all stand up in, and I can just open the lid and be able to look inside. My husband's very good with woodworking, and I'm hoping he'll be able to do that. If not, you could probably buy one of those letter shoe boxes, plastic ones with the lid, and you could keep them in there stood up, and you can just flip through, see what kind of things you need for your junk journaling, and pull it out and snap it open and pull out the items that you need, look through it, snap it closed, put it back in the box. And voila, You don't have to worry about where to store all your items. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for our how to make a journal itself, how I made some of the paper, how I created the journal with the cardstock, how I did the spine. I will go into more detail about the floss and punching the holes and how to tie that off, and I'll actually show you how I did it. So thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and keep watching. Thanks.